this tutorial you will need your selected yarn. I'm using Karen's Simply Soft in the colour Victorian Rose. I'm going to be using a 5mm crochet hook, but you can use whichever hook suits your yarn. You will also need a pair of scissors and a darning needle to sew in your ends. I'm going to leave a link in the description box where you'll find all of the information about the yarn, the hook, and even the free written pattern, which is available on my website. Please don't forget, if you like my videos, then to share it with your friends, leave a thumbs up and a comment, and also subscribe to keep up to date with all of my latest videos. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to begin by creating a slip knot, and you can do this in whichever method you prefer. Go ahead and insert your crochet hook, and we're going to create our chain, our foundation chain, and this can be any number that you want it to be. So if you want to think about the width of project that you want your foundation chain to measure that width. So go ahead and yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause the video, work your chain to the width of the project you want, and then add an extra chain, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so I have now done my foundation chain. I wanted my sample swatch to be 20 stitches, so I've done a chain of 20, and I'm just going to add an extra one here for turning, like I mentioned before. So my row of, or my stitch count will be 20 stitches. Whatever your chain length, your stitches will be one fewer. So what we're going to do here is we're going to work into the second chain from the hook. So they're not the one that's on the hook. We have 1 and 2, and we're going to do a double crochet. So I'm talking in UK terms. In the US, this is known as single crochet. So go into the chain, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through both loops. Into the next chain, insert, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through both of those loops on the hook. So that's 2, 3 and 4. You're going to continue all the way along your chain with your double crochet, and then meet me back once you've got to your last chain. Okay, so this is the end of row 1. We're then going to move on to row 2. We want to chain 1 and turn our work. That chain 1 does not class as a stitch. We're going to do a half treble in each stitch all the way across. So that's a UK half treble. In the US, this is known as a half double. So you're going to yarn over, insert into the base of that chain 1, so that very first stitch. Yarn over, pull through. You'll have 3 loops on the hook, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. That's your half treble. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that's 2, and you're going to continue this all the way along your row. So go ahead, pause the video, work those half trebles to the end, make sure that you are counting your stitches, and then meet me back for row 3. Okay, so we're now at the end of row 2. We're going to chain 1. This again does not count as a stitch, and turn our work. And now we're going to work row 3. Now row 3 is your pattern repeat, so this will just keep repeating over and over again. And what we're going to do here is a half treble into the 3rd loop. So let me show you where this 3rd loop is. If we insert our hook into the stitch normally, we have the back loop and the front loop just here. So here's the back loop, here's the front loop. It looks like a V. We're not going to be working into there. What we're going to do is work into this loop just below. So if we turn it this way, we see the front and the back loop here, and then if we look at it front ways on, we can see the front loop. There is a post just underneath that front loop here, and that's where we're going to work into. So it's yarn over into that 3rd loop, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. Move over again, yarn over into that 3rd loop, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through all 3. Now what's happening here is it's pushing that front loop and back loop this way, like towards the back as we're looking at it, and that creates a ridge. Now what you'll find is as you are working along this row, the stitches automatically start turning, so it does become a little bit easier. You just have to be aware that they have turned, and that's what you're seeing. So it's pushing this third loop out towards you. So I'll just show you again. Yarn over into that third loop, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all three. You're going to repeat this all the way to the end of this row. Again, make sure you are counting your stitches. I will work until I get to the second to last stitch, because the last stitch can be a little bit confusing. Show you how to finish off this row and then move on to the next. Okay, so I am on my second to last stitch of row 3. So I've done, because I have 20 stitches in each row, this is my 19th stitch. Now at the end here it just does look a little bit tricky because we have a turning chain and we have our last stitch. Now you can see here that there is a loop just sticking up, and that is the loop that we're going to be working into. If you turn it round, you can see the V of the last stitch just here, and this is the third loop just there. So we're going to work into that third loop, chain 1, turn our work, and now we can see that ridge across here. So now we're going to repeat exactly the same thing. We're going to yarn over and go into that first third loop, like so. And we're going to work our half trebles all the way across. And then you will notice that the ridge is now on the opposite side of the work. So it's flat here, and then we have a ridge just here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build a few more rows and then come back so that you can start to see what this looks like. Okay, so I've just built a few more rows now, and this is what it's looking like from one side, and then this is what it's looking like on the other side. So you do have ridges on both sides, and then you have a gap in between, and it just creates a really, really lovely stitch. This is really nice if you want something which has a nice pattern on both sides. So once you've worked to the height that you want, you can go ahead and tie off, and that is the Royal Ridge stitch. Don't forget, I have done a free pattern which you can find on my website. I'll leave that in the description box below, the link to that. If you like this video, then make sure that you share it with your friends, leave me a like and a comment. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with all of my latest videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again next time. Bye.